Hello and welcome to the Creative Consciousness Radio Show on Blog Talk Radio. We are your hosts, Sam and Cabrini Greco, coming to you live from beautiful planet Earth. Throughout our conversation, we will be covering topics such as spirituality, global consciousness, metaphysics, and where you think we're truly headed. We have a great show to share with you today, so bookmark us and receive reminders. And you can visit our website at alltruenatural.com.
Well, good evening and welcome to Creative Consciousness Radio Show here on Blog Talk Radio. We are so happy that you decided to join us this evening on February 4th, 2015. We will be speaking with our special guest, Barbara Mackey. Barbara has an extensive practice in the spiritual fields. As a clairvoyant, she is a channeler, a medical intuitive, a healer, a psychic, a teacher, a lecturer, and above else, a healer of the human spirit. Barbara's work is holistic in nature, unlike other clairvoyants. She reads the whole person, encompassing not only the body and the mind, but also the spirit. Feel free to visit her website at barbaramackey.com. She's one of the most powerful mediums. She says it the way it is. And we are so happy to have her here. So welcome, Barbara. Welcome to our show.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so it's good. I can hear you very loud and clear, so that's good.
So, can you tell us a little bit about, your own pathway and tell us a little about what brought you to being able to work as a spiritual medium and a psychic and a healer in your life?
Well, believe me, it was the last thing I would ever do in my lifetime that I thought. I didn't grow up with the intention or even think about doing this work. It was sort of thrown in my lap, and in the beginning, I rejected it. I really was frightened. I thought, how am I going to do this? Maybe I'll say the wrong thing to people. I won't do the right thing by them. I have to be accurate. What if I'm not? I had all these questions. It was a big responsibility, and I was psychic since I was 4 years old, and I didn't really think much about it. I just did psychic things. I saw psychic things. And then as I got older, I was having visions, and I saw a plane up in the air when I think it was about 11 or 12. I was lying on a beach, and I thought to myself, that little craft is gonna crash, and it did. And there were body parts all over, and I thought maybe I made it up because I blanked it out after so many years. But then a reporter did a story, and she asked me, what kind of visions I had, and I told her, and she checked on it, and she said, you were right, that's exactly what happened on that date. I had so many visions, and I sort of kept them to myself. I'd never talked to my parents about it, and then I got married, and I had a premonition about my first pregnancy. I said, I thought I would die, and I guess a lot of women think that, and the baby's going to die, and I was given the last rites. The baby was baptized. It was so many things. My ex's mother was getting a heart operation. Everybody said, I'll see you later. I said goodbye. I went home, put a black dress out. It was just, and then I started reading for the neighbors, and I just did straight readings. And they would come to me for advice, and then I didn't do readings for a living or anything like that, but I saw the future, and I was in theater for many years, didn't think about it, and then I got a divorce. I was with this man, and how it all started was I had a dream about his death, and I told him, and he said, do you think I'm going to die? And I said, I don't know. I just had this dream that I had to identify your body, and you were at the hospital, and the doctor and the nurses motioned for me to come in. And he said, oh, that's ridiculous. So it was like December 21st, 1986. We had a fight the night before. He didn't come home. I tracked him down to where he was at. He was playing cards with his son, drinking some beer. And I said, you know, you need to come home. And he stood up and he looked at me. He goes, what is your problem? You think I'm going to die? And I said, I don't know. And I forgot about the dream. I sort of tucked it away. And then I went home and I got a call in the middle of the night and they said it was the hospital. I went to the hospital. It was just like in a dream. The doctor and the nurse were standing there and they motioned for me to come in. And they said, we're so sorry to tell you this. And then everything started flooding back. And they said, we have your fiance, boyfriend here, and he's on a gurney. Would you like to identify his body? And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, how did this happen? And then I was so heartbroken and so angry with him. I went to other mediums and psychics, and they told me that I was psychic. And I said, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not psychic. And I had my two mentors, the Reverend Helen Williams. She was like in her 80s. She had a church. And there was Edith Cantor. She was a nice Jewish lady. And they were in their 80s. So they were my mentors. And once a week, I would drive Edith to Trenton, New Jersey. We'd sit around a big table, and they would test me. They'd say, read us straight, do the cards, do this, do that. And meanwhile, you know, the house was a mess, and they'd say, well, go in the kitchen and straighten up a little bit, and go make us some tea, and go get the dog food. And it was cute, very cute. And they were like, you know, she's going to be the next us. And wow. I said, I don't want to do this. I'm selling for a living. I'm on the road. I like it. I'm not doing this work. And they said, no, you're going to carry on our work. Believe me, I fought it every inch of the way. And I remember the first time I gave a reading, I think I charged like something like $10 or $20. I was scared to death. I was like, oh God, how am I going to get through this? I mean, I was never afraid to go on stage. I never had stage fright. But this was kind of frightening to me. And I've been doing it for 30-something years, and thousands of people, I've read for thousands of people. And, you know, you go into a different life. You're not like a regular, quote, person anymore. You're not living the regular life. You're living a life where people, even in your family, make fun of you. They think you're crazy. And I don't know anybody else in my family that does this work, except I found out years later that my grandmother Lydia, my father's mother, who was from Hungary, she used to have readings in the house, and she was a dream interpreter. And I used to stay with her in the summertime, and I saw people going in and out, and I thought, she's really popular, but she was doing dream interpretation. And then on my mother's side, there was a Dr. Samuel Kennedy, and he was a visionary and a seer, and it's on that side of the family too. But I have 3 sons, and they're all psychic, and it didn't even skip a generation. So I guess I was destined to do this work. And then I was in politics before this too, and they wanted me to run for councilwoman, then mayor, and my father had all these dreams for me that I was going to be a senator, and I just couldn't do that work. It went against my nature. I just could not compromise my integrity. I'm sort of like a lone wolf, and I work better by myself, and it's been a very exciting life, but it's a very hard life. And people, when I hear them say, I want to do what you do, I smile and think, you know, no, you don't. You don't want to do what I do.
Yeah, I really appreciate your honesty and your integrity with your work in that statement. And as a matter of fact, the conversations that I've had with you on the phone and your response to me about the work and how difficult it is, and how at the same point, as difficult as it is for you and many, many psychics that are in this work are called into it. Do you feel that this has guided you through all these episodes?
Well, it's my avocation. I've had times where I just wanted to quit this. So many times I said I'm never going to do another reading. I read for this one woman that I used to read for every year, and I said to her, Linda, I see you in an accident with a horse, and you could get killed on that horse, so you have to be careful. She said, oh, no, I had an accident a year ago, and I fell off the horse. I said, no, I just see this, just be careful. As she was going out the door, and I think it was a couple of days later, she lived in Staten Island, and they called me and said she was at the hospital. She was on life support. She fell off the horse, had an aneurysm, and I was like devastated. I went to my mentors and said, I tried to warn her, I don't want to do this work anymore. It's too grueling, it's upsetting. I can't do it anymore. And I've had many circumstances like that where you try to warn people, but I don't want to make it sound like it's so gruesome, because there's so many beautiful things that you see for people, new opportunities in life, new love, new babies, new careers, so many good things that you see for the people, not only accidents or passings. And I think a lot of people are afraid to go for readings because they think that we're going to tell them terrible things. No, we're sort of preparing them for things that might come. It's your choice. You do have some free will in this. And I'm preparing you so you're not blindsided. So,
I can understand that. I can understand that, Barbara. I come from an Irish background, very Celtic as yourself. And, we have 3 generations in our family that are dreamers as well. And,
right.
I remember as a child when I was growing up, my mother would say, well, I had this dream about this situation. And before you know it, it played out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken me a long time to be able to embrace that knowledge that spirit does speak to us even in our dream state, guiding us. And from what I understand about you and what I'm hearing you say is that you also have those dreams, and that is within your DNA that's come from your past, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying to us right now?
Yeah, very much so. And not only dreams, but when the best readings that I think are the greatest is a straight reading where you don't need cards or anything. You just look at someone, or you don't even have to look at them. You can hear their voice on the phone, or you do a radio show, or it's the energy in the air. And the straight readings are the best. I really like that. And sometimes people don't understand that. They think you're crazy. They're like, no. And I love it when they say no, because that usually means yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I go, keep saying no. I love it. It's making my day.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And you really,
what do you think causes that within the human psyche, that when they're given information that is truthful and they say no, what do you think's going on?
Well, they don't get it. They don't get it because some do get it. And those are the ones that you want to, throw out of the house, which I have thrown a couple people out of the house and said, lose my number, because I said to this woman, I keep getting a baby boy. Why do I keep getting this? I don't know. I said, did you ever have a baby? No. Do you have an abortion? No. I said, did you give a baby away? No. Okay, at the end of the reading, she said, I just have to say, I was just, holding back the information. I did have a son, and I gave him away. I said, you know what? Don't ever call me again. I will never read for you again. Get out of my house. My brain was so fried. That's the kind that really are the worst. But the kind that you tell them the future, and they're like, no. I said, but it's the future. Don't say no. You don't know what the future. I'm telling you. That's my avocation, to tell you what I see in the future. So just be quiet. I'm actually called the Judge Judy of psychics because I really have an attitude at times. And I had an attitude from day one with people. I can be very caring and nurturing with them, but when they get on my last nerve, I'm like, okay, that's it, And if you're looking for someone to be phony to you and, tell you everything you want to hear, I'm not the one for you.
Yeah. And, why would anybody go and hear everything they want to hear? I mean, I think the whole purpose in seeking a psychic is to get extra knowledge that you're not able to access yourself.
Yeah, but they do want to hear what they want to hear. Like, if I tell them he's never coming back, you better forget it. Oh, no. I gave him $25,000 and I want to see him again. And he never paid me the money. I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't need a psychic. You need a psychiatrist. Okay? I mean, please. It's like there's some of the people. No, some of the people that call me, I'm like, I want to bang my head into the wall, and I say to myself, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. But then I do it because I can never go back into the real world anymore. This is my life. And thank God I've been writing more too. I've been writing television shows. So I am a writer and I write columns and things like that. So I'm trying to get more into the writing, and the newer people that are coming up. But I have to say that the newer people that are coming up, they don't pay their dues. Everyone wants to just set up shop overnight, like a tent, like a gypsy. Like, oh, I think I'll be a psychic. Well, I worked for a good 10 years, learned my craft before I was even on a radio show.
Yeah. Yeah, you've paid your
And now they just want to be, I want to be a psychic, and I want to charge $400 for a reading. I'm like, really? Do you know what you're doing? You know what you're talking about? Did you pay your dues? Yeah. It's a very different world now with the advent of computers and the webs. Everybody's got a website. When I started out, there were no cell phones. There were no computers. You worked the hard way. You would work at clubs for tips all night. You'd get out at 2:00 in the morning. You read 50 people. It was a real training ground. And now these new ones coming up, they don't even know what they're doing, as far as I'm concerned. There probably are some very gifted ones out there, but I haven't met too many.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you for hanging in there. We're so blessed to have you in our world today. Just to have somebody to speak the truth, to be able to say it out loud, just like you are right now. I like it, I don't like it, but I'm doing it, and I love what I'm doing, and I'm living my dream. I have nothing but respect for that. I think it's really difficult. We find it. We've traveled like you all over the nation, and to have people come to terms with their own honesty, their own spirit, I think is one of the most difficult things that anyone has to do. I know that it's taken me a lifetime, and I know that it's taken you a lifetime. So with that, what with the state of our world that it's in right now, I mean, what is your perception? What do you think's going on here with the state of our consciousness today in our physical universe?
Well, it was like 20 years ago. I wrote a show, and it was called The Spiritual Awakening of America, and I tried to get it on the air, and at that time, people laughed in my face. They said, what? What does the Spiritual Awakening of America mean? And I asked this guy to put up the money, and he was very well known. And he was into money, big money, on Wall Street. And at the time, he was having problems with cheating people, and he was going to go to jail. And I got a hold of him before he went to jail. I said, why don't you do something good with your money and put this on the air? And he said, well, they'll never catch me. They've been after me for 25 years. And I said, well, you're going to jail now. Well, he just got out. And I said, why don't you do something worthwhile? He goes, people will think I'm crazy. I said, crazy? They think you're a crook. What's the difference? So, people 20 years ago, we've come a long way because there's a lot of psychic programs on now. Not that I approve of them, because a lot of them are scripted. They're really not the real thing. And I was thinking about doing one, but then I thought, what are they, I have no control over it, and they're going to make us, they always try to make us look like jerks. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be part of that. The integrity kicks in. And I always said that we would have worldwide communication and our spiritual consciousness would raise, and it has. But it's like a seesaw. As much as we're growing on a spiritual level, there's so many bad things happening in the world. So it's like an up down kind of thing. It's the good versus the evil more than ever. More than ever. Because we did have wars in the past, but now we have wars going on within our nation. ISIS lives here. The terrorists have been here for a long time. They set up shop. They could be your neighbor next door building bombs. It's like inside. Years ago in the 40s, it was like in another country. But now it's an internal thing going on with everybody. France, England, the Jordanians, you name it. It's just gotten out of control. So what do I think is going to be here? Either good is going to win or evil is going to win, and there's going to be a big struggle here. The only way I can see us getting out of it is everyone gets off their derriere and they really join the fight. And that's like everyday person, that has a regular job. I know they're exhausted. They want to go home. They want to veg out. They don't care. It's like, let the government take care of it. But I think we need to join forces, and we really have to stay on top of the situation. It's happening globally. And I fear for everyone on some level, but I keep thinking maybe there's hope that the spirit will be stronger than the evil. You know what I'm saying? The light will be stronger than the evil. So it's going to be a tough battle. I don't think I'm going to be around to see it. I know I won't be around, but it's gotten worse. Would you agree?
Oh, it just reminds me of when I was young, and everyone knew each other on the street. Each family knew each other's family, and the parents of one family would watch over the child of another family. And there was a protection that was going on. There was a unified protection amongst each other. They watched over each other. And see, that's what I look for in humanity. And that's why I'm so grateful to be connecting with you, is because there are many, many good people. And I think that they are afraid, and I think they are not knowing what direction and how do I cope with this and how do I do this. And I know for myself, Barbara, I just want to confirm with you is that I really believe that good people with good intentions, okay, that have the light within them, really need to band together and support each other.
Really,
go ahead. You can.
Well, no, I was just thinking that everybody is so disconnected. It's like love thy neighbor. I mean, I'm even guilty of it. I live in a place where, well, I don't want anybody really to be breathing down my neck because I do have people come to me for readings, and I live a private life, and people are still a stigma attached to this. But I guess I was never one to get too familiar with my neighbors. I always had friends that were further away. I wasn't the type to be in their house, but I would be there in an emergency if they needed me. But I think there's such a disconnect. As much as we have the computer, Facebook, this, that, people are still like for themselves. They're not thinking about the bigger picture. I always thought about the bigger picture. I wrote a state law. I got a light for my, where my kids live because there was someone killed there. I was always thinking about global happenings, what's happening worldwide. And I was always marching against wars, the Vietnam War. My brother was in it. I was against the Iraqi war. People were yelling out of the car, giving me the finger, and I was like, yeah, whatever. It seems like it's like the dumbing down of America. They just don't have the grit in them that I had in the 60s, and everybody else did. We fought the good fight. But now, this generation, like the kids in their 30s, I think they could care less.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that that has anything to do with environmental issues, such as, our drinking water or fluoride in the water, the electromagnetic, uh, towers that are all over? Do you think that that is interfering with the perception of their own individual spirit? Do you think there is a dumbing
Well,
down going on through these avenues?
well, it's I don't know. I think it might have something to do with that. God knows we're eating so many chemicals. I wouldn't be surprised, if it did something to the younger generation. But even I don't know. I just saw things through a different lens. Always did. And there were people like me in the '60s that fought the good fight. I belong to now, and you name it. I was there for change, but I don't see that happening. Barely with Wall Street, they were protesting, but the government has become so. Oh, how can I put it? They don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, and that's what's so scary, that they're getting paid for something that they shouldn't get paid for. As far as I'm concerned, and I've always said this, they should do a house cleaning, major house cleaning, and just get regular people, everyday people, housewives, people that go to work in a factory. We don't get paid, but we start to run the country ourselves for the people, because it's so much lobbyists. They're paid off. So much corruption in the government. And it's not only our country, it's everywhere. But we should set a precedent for our own country.
Yeah.
Now, I know it sounds like off the wall kind of thinking, like this could never happen. But my family came here during the American Revolution, and I'm a daughter of the American Revolution. So I have this patriotic streak going through me. And my great-great-grandfather was in the legislature, and he named his kid after Ben Franklin because they were friends. So I have this in me. We could do it if we wanted to, but I don't want to say I'm losing complete faith, but the people could win over if they just got it together. And I really feel that would be our only salvation, if the people band together on a spiritual, emotional level. That's the only way I see out of this.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm right here and I'm banding with you. And look, we have a whole, group of people that are listening to this show right now that are banding with you as well. We can all stand together. For those of you that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Barbara Mackey. Barbara is a clairvoyant, a channeler, a medical intuitive, a healer, a psychic. I mean, she has a tremendous resume behind her with the 30-odd years of work that she's done. You can read all about Barbara on her website, and that would be barbaramackey.com. Please introduce yourself to her, get to know her. She is a committed spiritual being, and I know that she's here for your happiness, and I know that she's here for the happiness of the world. Barbara, we do have some callers calling in, and it looks like they want to get involved with this conversation. Are you ready to talk to some people?
Okay, sure.
Would you like to talk to some people?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm going to bring our first caller coming in from 570. Hello. Welcome to Creative Conscious Radio Show. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Marijan.
Hey, Marijan. How are you this evening? Welcome to our show.
Oh, thank you. I'm listening, and I think Barbara Mackey is right on target as far as the government and everything else. Yeah, I agree with her totally.
Yeah, well, we need a major house cleaning. What do you think? Do you want to be a governor, or what do you want to be? I'll assign you a job. Do you want to be a mayor? What do you want to be?
Yeah, senator.
Oh, a senator. Okay, you got it. You got it.
Okay, I'm calling because I wanted to ask Barbara some questions that have been haunting me. My son got killed in 2001 in an automobile accident. Mm-hmm. And, of course, my third son, 3 sons died. 2 were babies, and then, of course, he was like 33. So it's kind of really a shock to me. So I ended up in a very unhealthy depressive state, so to speak, all right, even though I've been trying to get myself out of it. And
I understand.
there's certain things that have gone on. I guess initially when this first happened, and I couldn't I really didn't understand it, but at times he was always one that threw keys on the table or put on all the lights and whatever, and that happened a few times. And now I'm years ago now, right after he had died, and it was a stressful estate, and anyway, it was very depressing. So lately, what's been happening is I get up at like 3:34 in the morning, and for no reason. All right, I'm wide awake, and this has been going on, which hasn't been going on, but the last few months it has. And I'm just wondering, would it be my son, number one? And it's bothered me terribly as to how he actually got in the accident, because he knew that road very well. Actually, it really behooves me to try to figure that one out. So I guess that's what I was just wondering. Would it be him that is waking me up? For what reason, I couldn't tell you. And I don't know. I guess the accident's always been
on your mind. Did they say that he was drinking or he had any drugs in his system?
Well, when he had when they did the autopsy, he did have some in his system, drugs. Supposed to be minute amounts, but nothing that I could see that would really. He clipped a truck. A long metal piece was sticking out of the truck that was parked illegally, and he happened to clip it with the right front light. And of course, he ended up getting severely injured and decapitated almost.
Oh God!
So we knew the roll of the back of his hand. I know you can't avoid what's supposed to be. But, but let me tell you this. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, but sometimes I'm not always on the ball with what I'm doing when I'm behind the wheel. Sometimes you misjudge things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like it's closer than you think, and you accidentally. It's an accident. And I can't tell you how many times I was almost killed in a car accident because of somebody else misjudging something or me, myself. And I'm like, wow, that was a close one. I wasn't paying attention. So, I think it's a matter of like, it's nothing that he did, it was like an accident. It was truly like an accident when he hit that. Yeah,
it was. I really feel that, and what could have happened. I knew he was tired. He was overtired, and just by chance he clipped that thing. Yeah,
that's why he wasn't using good judgment because he was a little impaired. I wouldn't say he was a lot impaired, but you take it for granted when you're driving. The road. You think, oh well, I can't tell you how many times that I misjudged.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But
he was shocked. He was shocked. He was like, it was over before. It was like the lights were out. There was no physical pain. It was just done. Like, when you go to sleep and you don't realize that you went to sleep.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you go, wow, I didn't even realize I was asleep. That I went off like that. That's how it happened with him. There was no pain. There was just a cutting off of consciousness. But I believe, that the spirit leaves the body. I believe that. I'm not saying it to be the Holy Grail, but I know when I was with my mother when she was passing, I was guiding her out. And I've been doing this ever since I was a kid. I was taking care of people that were dying. And since I was 16, it seemed like that was my calling for some reason. And I almost felt like her spirit left her body. You could feel it. So did you have like a nervous breakdown?
No, well, I don't know, not to the point of that, but on a daily basis, constantly being depressed. Understanding
the grief,
but then it's kind of like a black shadow over my head always, constantly.
Yeah, like you find no peace, and you've got to come to terms with this. This has been too long, and if you reach out to him, I mean, come on, you've got to live your life. Your son wouldn't want you to be like this. Are you taking antidepressants?
Well, I'm ordered on them, but I haven't been taking them. Actually, to be honest with you, I mean, but I have been ordered on them, but I haven't been taking them. I guess
have you taken
them.
Have you taken them at all?
Have I taken what?
Have you taken them at any time?
Well, I started at the beginning. I'm going back a few years ago, and it was a small dose. And then they graduate your dose up. Well, I don't know. I just didn't like the idea of graduated doses. All right. So, and I can be altered, so to speak, but...
Honey, listen to me. I don't know what they gave you, but you have been depressed too long. This is very bad for your internal organs, for your DNA. This has got to stop. You cannot be living like this. You're not supposed to be dying with your son. Do you understand?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I could start it, but it's only Cymbalta. It's just it's an antidepressant, but... It's just for some reason, I don't know, I had this thing like, I just didn't want to be altered that I'm not myself. Do you know what I mean?
No. It all depends on what you're taking. If you take something like Lexapro, that's a new antidepressant. It's just a serotonin thing with it. It's an uplifter, in your brain that takes that edge off,
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the question was. I got off on a tangent here because I'm like a medical intuitive, but you're killing yourself with this, and your son wouldn't intend you to do this. He's very upset about that. And maybe he's trying to get through to you in a dream state. And often when people are depressed, too, they do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. That is a signal for depression. So I think So, take your medication. If it makes you feel too altered, ask him for something like Lexapro. Try it, 10 milligrams. And you've got to get on the road. He died in 2000?
2001.
And you know how many years ago that is?
I know. Every year.
I know, but the thing is, it's too long to be like this. You've got to really get yourself together.
Well, you know what it was, I think, with him, because he was my first and last that died. It was, how could you say it? He was kind of uplifting. He was there. You knew you could.
I understand. I understand completely.
Yeah, and then his daughter. He has a daughter, and she's been going through the grief thing, and of course she talks openly to me. But I don't think she realizes, it's okay because everybody seems to think that I have an answer to somebody else's situation. But what she doesn't realize, which I don't want to block her, is that when she does talk about whatever, that kind of bothers me too. I don't say it bothers me to her. I just kind of like try to help her.
I understand. Listen to me. We have a lot of people on the line. We have to go, but just know that call upon your son. He'll get you through this. Take your medication and try to get out of the house and be with other people. Do you understand?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Right. Thank you so much, Mary Jen, for calling.
All right, thank you.
That's something that people do go through. I hear that quite frequently, Barbara, with people waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, that's a sign of depression a lot of times, especially at 4 o'clock. That seems to be the magic number.
Okay.
When they have something on their mind, when they're under stress.
We have about 13 minutes left to our show. I do have another caller here. Would you like to take another call?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay, I'm calling. This is 303. You're live with us on Creative Consciousness Radio Show. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Randy.
Hi, Randy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for taking my call. I was
wondering. Hey, Randy.
Hi. I was wondering if you could help me, if there's you see anything improvement in my job that I'm having now, because I feel like I'm
What?
I'm not feeling happy at this job, and I feel like
yeah,
the person I'm working under is very controlling. And
yeah, I don't think you're going to work there much longer. I think you're going to be looking for another job. Where do you live?
In Colorado, in like
Colorado.
County.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really see. I'm not getting a good vibe there, and I think that they're going to fire some people too.
Do you think they're going to fire me?
No,
okay.
But they're going to fire some people there. It's coming up, and I don't know why I see this building, but it's brick. It's all brick. Do you know what I'm saying?
You never noticed it. It's a nursing home, so maybe.
Is it brick?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. You just go there every day. Oh my God! All right. I'd say within 3 months, start looking now, and you don't have to put up with that, because I think I don't like the way they run the place anyway.
No. And you say, what kind of job do you see me get? Like, do you see me getting a similar job, working with the?
Well, what do you do there? Do you just do telephone work, or do you?
I'm a social worker.
You're a social worker. Okay,
like
you get it. You get. Wait a minute. You could get a job at any place, social worker. I'm seeing more of a school environment. I think I would get out of the nurse. What?
That's what I want. So you're on the ball.
yeah. Get into school. I don't like that environment. It's very bad for your health anyway.
Yeah.
Your mental health yourself. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Randy. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Wow, some pretty heavy stuff there that people are asking of today. Between depression and changes in jobs. There's a lot of people going through a lot of changes, right, Barb?
Everybody that I know is going through changes. Everybody, yeah.
A lot of purging happening with people. What used to work for people isn't working anymore. I mean, you see that? I'm seeing it everywhere I look, and that consciousness that consciousness that you were talking about, that one word that you used, which I thought was so important, was care. To actually care is a product of love, and that is kind of off balance in a lot of people these days. This purging that's going on, a lot of blaming going on with people. Not wanting to take responsibility for their actions and so on. So, I'm standing with you and standing with every spiritual being here that's listening to our show today. And, we're joining together to raise the vibrations of love, to know that none of us are alone. We have each other, and we can extend it to each other. Do you have any message that you want to humanity? What's your message to humanity tonight?
Oh, Lord. It just goes back to that old saying from the Bible, do unto others as you will have them do unto you.
Yeah.
And it's so clear as a bell, and it's so concise. You need to really treat someone like you want to be treated, and a lot of things would really be better in this life. And if you're doing this kind of work, I'm talking to anyone out there that is doing this kind of work, that maybe is starting it, don't come from a place of ego. Ego is not what's needed in this work. You have to be selfless. You really have to put yourself last. And there's times when you're tired, and I will cancel readings, and people will say, oh, I was looking forward to this reading. I go, listen, do you want a good reading? Do you want me to be tired? Do you want the best of me? Then I'm sure you could put it off for a week, unless it's a complete dire emergency, like someone's child was just killed or the husband died unexpectedly, and it really is a true emergency, or they're going to go to court the next day, and I know they're stressed out because they want to know the outcome, what they have to face. I'm not talking about, other things. I know to everybody, everything's an emergency, but there are priorities. So I think what you need to do, humanity has to be more human.
Wow. That's right. That is so profound. To
Mhm.
actually care, to actually care for another human being the way that you
Mhm.
want. Wow, the simplest of truths are the most profound to me, and they reach me in my heart. And I don't know about anybody else that's listening tonight, but I have surely been touched by you, and I'm so, so thankful that you're here to be your true self, Barbara. And for anyone that is looking to really get a good reading and to hear some accuracy and to be guided in the best way for their life, please, get in touch with Barbara. Again, her website is Barbara Mackey, and that's Mackey.com. Look her up. We connected with Barbara on Facebook. You can find her that way. She is one of the most down-to-earth people that I've come across, and I've met many of the thousands of people in this country who can just say it the way it is and has no problem. Your confidence, and to me, when I hear you speak with such confidence, Barbara, I hear such faith in your body being propelled everywhere.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it's real.
Cabrini.
You're a real deal, Barbara.
Yeah,
No
well,
doubt in my mind.
some people say to me, Barbara, you're really outspoken. I'm like, hey, what do you want? You want me to lie to you? You want me to BS you? No, you want what's in my heart. You want me to say what I feel. You don't want me to parrot you. You don't want me to say something that's going to make you feel better when it might not be the actual truth. Now, there are a couple of truths. There's your truth and my truth. But we can meet someplace in the middle if you
Yeah,
don't agree with me.
there's a universal truth. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree with that. I absolutely do. And you know what? I'm not a super religious person. I used to be years ago. They got a little crazy for me. They were overzealous. I saw the hypocrisy within the church, so I went off on my own. But you can't go wrong with the Ten Commandments. That's it. You live your life by the Ten Commandments, you're good.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm
That's
right
all you
there.
have to know.
And I have a very similar experience with, studying various religions, joining various different types of churches, and every single one of them had a little bit of truth in them. But
Mhm.
collectively, what I found is the greatest truth is within each of us. And
Exactly. Exactly.
we all have that kind of compass, don't we? That kind of guides us.
Well, I think that there are people out there that might not, together mentally, and they are a problem, and they need help. But I think if you go by your instincts, like that gut instinct, like, ooh, I don't like the way I'm feeling, I feel guilty about that, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Guilt is good. Guilt is very good. Keeps you in line, okay? People say, oh,
Yeah.
no, guilt is bad. No, I don't say be obsessed with it to put you in the crazy house. But when you know you've done something bad or not nice to someone and you get that in the pit of your stomach and you can't sleep, and yeah, well, rectify that. Rectify that and do something good.
So we have just a couple minutes. What's going on? Do you have any classes? Are you
Oh,
doing
gosh.
anything out there that people can get involved with you? Do you want to share
Yeah,
that?
well, if they go to my website, but I don't know. I guess you get calls from all over the country. If they're in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area, they can look on my website from time to time or Facebook. I post what I'm doing. I teach people how to tap into their psychic abilities so they can help themselves on a daily basis and listen to themselves. Listen to that little voice inside. When you get that good feeling from someone or you get that bad feeling, go with it. Go with it because it'll never steer you wrong. And when you have to think about something for too long and it's bothering you, you know it's not the right thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Great advice. And again, Barbara, namaste.
Namaste to you, and good health. That's what we need, good health, so we can keep working.
Yeah, you know the trouble I had just recently, and I've been dealing with some stuff for about 10 years now, physically.
I didn't know. You didn't tell me. What was it? Do you want to say?
I have a tumor on my neck. That just came up about 2 years ago, and that's finally getting resolved this month, which I'm very, very grateful for. And then I had teeth issues that have gone on. I've been attempting to get my teeth taken care of for 10 years. And every dentist that I go to, it's like, it's a major deal. It's a major deal. But I am finally, after all this time, this month, by the end of this month, I'm going to be in a completely different place. And, I just want to share that, and I'm sure you can agree with me that when we go through trials, when we have situations in our life that don't have the answers for, and we don't have the solutions, that just hang in there. Don't give up. The answer's coming. It may take some time, but the answer comes. Thank you.
I agree with that. So thanks for having me on. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, this has been a very quick show. Time has flown. Again, this has been Barbara Mackey. Barbara's a psychic medium. She's also a healer. She's a teacher. She's a lecturer. She's a medical intuitive. Please check her out on her website at barbaramackey.com. Feel free to connect with us on our website at alltruenatural.com. We support individuals that are living spiritually purposed lives. If you're one of those individuals, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get to know you. God bless. All right, you guys. Everybody have a great night tonight. Many blessings.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, dear.